Hello, I'm Meredith Williams, the Director of California's Department of Toxic Substances Control. After carefully reviewing thousands of comments, DTSC published the final Program Environmental Impact Report, or PEIR, for the Santa Susana Field Laboratory, which we refer to as SSFL. The final version includes updates and clarifications to the environmental analysis, responses to comments on the draft PEIR, and other elements required by the California Environmental Quality Act, known as CEQA. The purpose of the PEIR is to inform decision makers and the public of any harm that could come to the environment from the cleanup work itself, and if there are measures that can be taken to substantially lessen or avoid the impacts from the cleanup. The PEIR outlines 64 such mitigation measures in 10 categories, like air quality, noise, traffic, and others. The mitigation measures were developed to reduce impacts during cleanup. For example, pollution and wear and tear on roads from truck traffic hauling contaminated materials from the site for proper disposal. To reduce impacts from traffic, transportation mitigation measures will be mandated. DTSC will require a comprehensive traffic management plan and roadway repairs. Based on what we've heard from the community and other stakeholders, along with additional analyses, we've updated the PEIR and made several clarifications.
DTSC will follow the updated guidance from US EPA related to produce consumption in backyard gardens. The amount of contaminated soil that we assumed would be dug up increased for Boeing in the final PEIR. DTSC included this update in response to changes in relevant EPA guidance and upon consideration of the comments received on the draft PEIR. In turn, the volume of clean soil, known as backfill, that will replace what was removed was updated for the Boeing areas. DOE and NASA backfill volumes were updated to reflect how they determined how much backfill they would need. Truck haul volumes and truck types were also updated. There will now be 2 sizes of trucks used to haul away contaminated soil and debris. The list of potential disposal sites for the responsible parties was updated. The updates in the potential disposal sites for Boeing waste resulted in less distance traveled and reduced air emissions. In 2019, Governor Newsom made an executive order seeking to prevent damage from wildfires. In response, DTSC ordered the Department of Energy to remove all the buildings at the Radiological Materials Handling Facility complex. The above-ground portions of all DOE-owned buildings and associated structures in Area 4 were demolished and removed between 2020 and 2021. The slabs and below-ground portions of the structures remain. In the draft PEIR, the impacts from demolition and disposal of some buildings were evaluated with other projects in the area as part of the cumulative analysis. In the final, all remaining buildings and slabs are considered part of the SSFL project specifically, offering a more conservative analysis. Boeing owns 5 non-RCRA permitted buildings in Area 4. In the draft PEIR, the impacts from demolition and disposal of these buildings were evaluated as a related action in the analysis of cumulative impacts. In the final PEIR, DTSC included this activity as part of the project itself. DTSC did this to ensure a conservative analysis of potential impacts. In May 2022, DTSC and Boeing signed a settlement agreement that amends the 2007 consent order governing Boeing's risk-based cleanup. The 2022 agreement provides a comprehensive framework guiding technical evaluations for soil and groundwater cleanup. This will result in more efficient coordination and speed up cleanup. Remedies will be selected following public review of draft cleanup documents and DTSC's approval. The settlement agreement includes waivers by Boeing giving up its rights to legal challenges to any future DTSC decision on a soil cleanup standard for chemicals up to the resident with 100% garden scenario presented in the final PEIR. Boeing also waived its right to challenge DTSC's selection of a background cleanup for radiological materials. This means DTSC can require the entire site be cleaned up to background conditions for radiological materials. The technical analyses in the PEIR were updated. Those included air quality, biological resources, greenhouse gas emissions, hazards and hazardous materials or health risk, and noise analyses. These updates were made in response to updates to the initial activities, the increase in soil volumes, changes to truck capacities and haul truck distances, and updated guidance. The updated analyses did not result in any significant new information that would require recirculation of the draft PEIR under CEQA.
CEQA requires an EIR to be recirculated for public input if there is a new significant impact to the environment to be evaluated, or if an impact that was already evaluated substantially increased in severity. An example of this would be construction of a new intersection resulting in significant impacts to traffic. DTSC evaluated whether any of the updates and clarifications included in the final PEIR met the CEQA definition of significant new information. Because no significant changes or new information was identified, recirculation is unnecessary.
Certification of the PEIR is the next major milestone for SSFL. It allows cleanup projects on the site to move forward. Draft cleanup documents that will outline plans to clean up soil and groundwater will be shared with the public. These will be released over the course of the next few years, starting later in 2023, and each document will result in a public comment period. All of the input we get on these documents will be considered in our final decision-making process. Once cleanup plans are approved, work will take place under DTSC oversight. DTSC staff will be at the cleanup sites to make sure work is proceeding according to plan. We intend to keep you updated and involved in this process. We'll use your input from our recent survey to design workshops, plan meetings, and share key elements of our work. DTSC is committed to ensuring that the cleanup of SSFL is both protective and transparent. If you have questions or something you'd like to share, you can reach out to the public participation specialist for the project. Their contact information is on our website and in the information we send out. We're excited about reaching this milestone for SSFL and look forward to working with you as the cleanup progresses.